Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is an impromptu episode of Fix It Friday. I know it's not Friday, but last Friday we had episode two of Fix It Friday. And well, we had some technology issues. We had some issues with the audio. So there were minutes that went by that I was not aware that no one could hear me. So I created this program, I created this training, Fix It Fridays, to give back to you to make sure that I was educating and informing you on the best way to do digital marketing. And well, when you can't hear me, you can't really learn. So I decided to this afternoon to do a do-over and lead again another episode of Fix It Friday talking about what we spoke about on Friday, which was Facebook advertising. I do want to apologize to those of you who did join me live and struggled to let me know that you couldn't hear me. So I do apologize, and it was a learning experience for me. So we've course corrected, and I figured out what happened, and it won't happen again. So hopefully, if anyone's out there, they're hearing me, both seeing me and hearing me. So let me introduce myself again. My name is David Vogel. I'm the owner of Social Proof. We are a lead generation and automation firm. We help businesses generate leads in a predictable fashion month after month using online digital ads and Google advertising. And we create automation on the back end for both follow up and to give you the ability to scale your business with automation. So, Fix It Friday is really your opportunity for getting feedback and learning about how you can improve your own digital marketing. This is not meant to go through my campaigns. I'm happy to do that if need be, but the idea is to take real campaigns that you're doing and break them down and find out ways that they could be tweaked and improved to get you better results. So I want you to really be thinking about digital advertising in this way, that it's like an ATM machine. And what I mean by that is that you put $1 in and you get $4 out. So it's basically when you have digital marketing, you have a system that works for your business that uh, can generate generate sales. It's like having an ATM machine. You just, the more money you spend on advertising, the more money you will uh, you will get in business. So, as a digital marketer, there are so many aspects of digital marketing, from email marketing to social media to SEO to websites, blogging, for instance. So, uh, in this particular training with here with me, if you need help with any of your campaigns, hold on a second here, everyone. Sorry. If you need help with any of your campaigns, the wheelhouse that I can help you best in are video marketing, social media marketing, pay-per-click ads, sales funnels, which are landing pages, microsites, and everything that comes along with that, and marketing automation. So if you have questions about any of those particular areas, I can certainly talk to those points and help you there. So today, we're going to be talking about Facebook advertising. And the guest that I had with me on Friday was my good friend Ezio Pavone. He's the president of Significa Short Sales, and they help people who have own a home where they owe more on their mortgage than the house is worth, and they help them basically do a short sale instead of basically walking away from the piece of real estate. So Ezio had come to me with a Facebook ad campaign, and there were a few things that we knew about his situation. So first, most of his leads were coming from referrals. So he was a referral-based business. Almost 100% of his business were from referrals. He was interested in using Facebook to attract new clients, and he wanted to try it. He didn't want to invest in a firm or pay someone to do his advertising. He wanted to kind of do grassroots and do it in-house. So he used his team in-house to create their first Facebook ad campaign. So that way they didn't have to invest a lot of money. And they basically started this campaign a week ago. So I'm going to share with you right now what that ad looks like. This is what the ad looked like, and it's actually a video ad, and I'll show you that. So create a little video animation here at the bottom. Hopefully it will play. There we go. Which is great in a Facebook ad because it catches someone's attention. And you can see the copy here at the top. It was basically, in this particular case, he took a post and he boosted it. So there's two kind of different ways of of doing ads on Facebook. And so when do so there's boosting posts and there's Facebook ads. And so boosting posts is when you're in your account and you literally click a button and you now can push that post out to more people that either that you're connected with in your particular Facebook, your business page, or you can reach out to a larger targeted audience. Now, the one thing I want to point out here is, well, so although I know what I wanted to share with you is the fact that Facebook is a free social media platform. And so if you've noticed over the years, they have taken away more and more of your organic sharing from your Facebook page. So even if you have a personal page and you put a post up, even though you might be connected with 500 people, and even though they might be going on their smartphone and looking at their Facebook channel, in many cases, they'll never see that post because a very small percentage of your shared posts are actually seen by your audience. They want you to pay to play. So boosting posts came about to help you share posts that you're sharing naturally with your friends and family and get it in front of more eyeballs. So, so boosting posts certainly is a way to reach a larger audience, particularly the audience that you know. It's certainly the simplest way to advertise on Facebook. uh, you're not creating ads inside of their ad manager, which is their kind of professional level ad system for marketing or advertising on Facebook. And just so you're aware, you are limited in terms of the ad objectives that you can use when you do a boosted post. Now, Facebook ads, you're still able to reach a much targeted or larger audience. It's a little bit more complicated setup because you're now using the ad manager. But what you get with that is you get much more advanced tools, which help you have greater success with the targeting of your ads and where Facebook's algorithm is determining to show your who to show your ads to. And you have other ways of optimizing your ad campaigns, whether it's for website conversions, video views, and more. Now, the one thing you should know about Facebook ads that doesn't exist with boosting your posts is you have these different ad placements. So now you can do an ad through Messenger. You can do it through Instagram Stories. Don't forget that Facebook is also owns Instagram, so you can do Instagram Stories. You also have objectives that aren't available previously through boosted posts, which include conversions and lead generation. And you have much more creative control. So you can do carousel ads, which are ads that are made up of a multiple of images that play one after another in sequence. And you have much more control over call to action. Lastly, and a very powerful tool is some of the advanced targeting you have, like lookalike audiences on Facebook. So this is what the ad manager looks like. And for those of you who've never seen the ad manager inside of Facebook, it can be quite intimidating. There's a lot of moving parts to it. And for those of you who do go this route without sufficient training, you could burn through a lot of cash quickly if you don't set this up properly. So when should you boost a post versus doing a Facebook ad? Well, again, this is my opinion. And so one thing to keep in mind here is that, other people might view this differently. But for me, I see boosting a post is a great way, without knowing a lot about the ad manager, to make more of your followers get more of your followers to see your posts. So that is really the situation where I see that it plays best, where you just want to get, 100%. Well, you might not be able to get 100%, but get a high percentage of the people that are following you on your Facebook channel or Facebook page to see your post, and just increase that engagement with those individuals. Now, the difference in my mind between a boosted post and an ad is a boosted post is something was when you're sharing content with your followers. Now, granted, you can target a much wider audience, but again, if you're targeting a wider audience, I would take the effort and energy to learn the ad manager because it performs that much better. Now, when you're doing a Facebook ad, you're creating a piece of content that you're specifically putting out there to people that don't know you that so who strangers that you want to get interested in your business. The followers on your Facebook page already know, like, and trust you. So the kind of what you would create as an ad would be very different than a piece of content you would share on your page. So let's talk about what we know about Ezio's campaign. So here are some of the facts we have. So this was a very small campaign. He basically did a $15 boost of a post over 7 days, which is roughly about $2 a day. He was targeting real estate agents, which is his target audience. He was targeting the state of Pennsylvania specifically, and he had one ad because he had one post. So let's look at the data. And that's what's so great about digital marketing is that you can see the data. And not only does it tell you what happened, but it gives you the opportunity to learn from what happened and course correct. When you do digital advertising, it's an iterative process. You're most likely not going to get it right out of the gate. And this gives you an opportunity to learn from, well, you could say your mistakes or learn from your first pass and make course corrections to make it even better. So what do we see here with Ezio? There's one piece of software I want to launch here. Hold on a second. Okay. So we know for his $15, he got his post in front of 851 people, most likely people that didn't know him before. He got 2 clicks. And from my conversation with Ezio, I found out that those 2 clicks led to some exchanges through Facebook Messenger, but actually didn't materialize to an actual phone call. So for his $15, he didn't actually get a potential lead, but he got close. But some of the things to point out is he paid because he roughly, this was, so he hadn't spent all $15 yet when I did my analysis. So he's basically spending about $6 per click, which is about a 0.23% click-through rate, which is the number of people who clicked divided by the number of impressions. So you take the number 2 here, divided by 851, you get 0.23. Now, what you're really looking for to have a successful campaign is between 2 and 5% click-through rate. So uh, certainly what we're learning from this is that we need to improve the messaging and the targeting here to get better results. Okay, so let's continue. So let's think about Facebook here for a minute and why do people go to Facebook? Well, they go to Facebook because they want to see what their friends and their family are up to. They want to see photographs and video and maybe inspiring messages. They're trying to connect. It's really as the name defines, a social platform. No one is going onto Facebook. They're not getting out their phone to go look for ads. So you have to remember this when you're advertising or even boosting posts. Well, specifically if you're boosting a post as an ad, that you need to have that same mindset with your content. Otherwise, if people see it as an ad, they're not really going to want to engage with it. So so how do you have success with a Facebook advertisement? And in my mind, there really are three key components to having success with Facebook advertising. And the first of these is messaging. So if you aren't clear and concise with your messaging, more specifically, if it isn't relevant to the audience you're speaking to, they're going to go right by it. You've got to capture someone's attention. So it has to be relevant to that audience, and it has to be engaging enough to stop them in their tracks from looking at, again, their friends and family's content. So here is Ezio's campaign. Again, here is his here is his ad. And let's look at the messaging here. So the messaging is this section here and this headline down here. And what I shared with Ezio on Friday is this very much is talking all about Significa short sales. Now, remember, he's doing this boosted post to get in front of more people that don't know about Significa short sales. So people are only interested in themselves. And so it's really important that you're talking about them and their problems and their wants and needs because they're not particularly, they don't know who you are. They don't care about your phone number, your email address, if they don't even know what you can do for them. So there's a tremendous opportunity for Etsio right here in making that messaging more relevant to those real estate brokers. Also, I find this headline to be a little confusing or transforming lives in one short sale a time. So it should be, I think we're missing the word at a time. So grammatically, there's an issue with the headline, and a confused mind never buys. But it's very ambiguous. People are not going to necessarily know what this means. It should be much more direct and to the point because you literally have seconds to catch someone's attention. Okay. So let's continue. So messaging, as I just shared with you, needs to capture someone's attention. It needs to be all about them. What is the problem that they're trying to solve in their life? How can you help that person when they see that ad? And there are really two things that your audience wants or is concerned about. And this is independent of a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad. This has to do with your email marketing. This has to do with anything and everything you do. And the first of those is they have two things that they're concerned with. Either one, trying to solve a problem there's a problem that they have that they don't want. So if that's what your message is about, great. And the other is you have a solution that they want but they don't have. And so these are a great place to start from with the messaging in your Facebook ad is think about a problem that they have that they don't want and talk about that. Okay. So just to kind of sum up what we're talking about here, how do you improve the messaging? One, as I just described, talk about a problem that they have that they don't want. Two, talk about a solution that they want but they don't have. And a great way to do this is to tell a story. So if they tell a story of a real estate broker where they did that and they were authentic in their messaging and how they helped them, that could be a powerful way to connect with someone and be very disruptive in a Facebook newsfeed. Okay. So we talked about messaging in his ads. This is a great way to correct it. What else can we focus on? What are the other key components to having success with a Facebook advertisement? And I alluded to it a little bit a minute ago when I was talking about messaging, which is targeting. So you have to know who your audience is. In this particular case with Etsio, it was real estate brokers, but there are millions of real estate brokers in the state of Pennsylvania. I would be pretty safe to assume that short sales is not something relevant to every real estate broker. So the more targeted you can be with your boosted posts or your Facebook advertisement, the better success you're going to have because you're going to be hitting more people that are interested in the message that you're sharing. So if you have a great message, but it's being shown to the wrong audience, they're not going to click. If you have a horrible message to the right person, they're also not going to click. So you really need to have synergy between the messaging and the targeting. Now, I mentioned too, there's over 1.2 million real estate brokers in the state of Pennsylvania. And I think it would be really beneficial, especially on the budget that Ezio is using, to really niche that down to maybe 50 or 100,000 of the best of those real estate brokers, because then he has his best chance of having a win. And something he could potentially do is he could focus on specifically real estate brokers that maybe have an interest in foreclosures. Now, I don't know if that's a particular interest that's available with Facebook, but certainly something to look into. So let's look at how I arrived at this 1.2 million real estate brokers. So if you go to Facebook, you can go into the targeting. And what I did here was I targeted the state of Pennsylvania. I targeted men and women, as you can see here, between the ages of 35 and 64, and that had an interest in real estate broker. And as you can see here, that is an audience of 1.2 million people. Now, this was again very broad. I would probably niche down a little bit further as I described so that you're getting your best people in front of your ad because we don't have an endless supply of cash to spend on these advertisements. Okay. So we've talked about messaging. We've talked about targeting. What is the third component? Well, the third component is the offer. So remember, people are going to Facebook to see their friends' posts, their families' posts. You could have a great message that's relevant to them, but if you don't create urgency, if you don't create something that's so compelling that like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread, I got to take advantage of this now, they're gone. You have to get them to stop whatever action it was they were taking on Facebook and click on your ad. And so the offer is an incredibly important component of that. It has to be so compelling that they want to continue learning more. So again, it has to be something that they want. It has to be irresistible. I talked about it stopping them in their tracks, and scarcity is a very powerful way. Whether you only have 5 at this price, or it ends today, or it ends in 1 hour, if you can create scarcity around something, even better. So let's look at what Ezio's offer was. So when we look at his ad, again, this is the messaging, this is the messaging, this is the messaging. Here is the offer. Call now. Asking a complete stranger on Facebook that doesn't know you, that isn't even quite sure what you can do for them, what problem you can solve, or what solution you have that they want. Most likely they're not going to pick up the phone from a Facebook ad. So this is a very tall ask, and as we know from the campaign in this very small case study, was out of the $15 and the almost 900 people that saw it, 2 people clicked but didn't actually call. So I think an opportunity for Ezio, as well as anyone doing advertising Facebook, is go for the low-hanging fruit, go for something a little bit easier. And so I'll come back to that. So we'll come back to the recommendations there. But one of the things that's a little bit easier is if you give a piece of maybe free content that would be helpful for that individual. And all I have to do is give their name and email address. That's a very popular way. But one of the things, if you're not sure what to do and you want to see what your competition is doing, here is a great shortcut for you where you can get some ideas. So Facebook allows you to look at what other businesses are using as their advertisements on Facebook. And that is called the Facebook ad library. And you can get to it by going to this URL here. And I would basically in this box right here, I would put in a keyword associated. Now, typically you can put the name of a business. So if you know the name of a competitor, put that in. But if you want to be a little bit broader and find even more businesses, so he could put, Ezio might want to put in foreclosure in here. That's horrible handwriting. I apologize, writing with a pen, not easy. Or he can do short sales, or just short sales and see what comes up. And I have found a whole bunch of competitors with ads that they're running, which would be great for giving ideas. Okay, so there's one last piece of this that isn't part of the 3 core that I shared with you that is equally important, and that is where do you send the person after they see the ad? Now, in Ezio's particular case, he sent them right to his homepage of his website. And as you can see, there's lots of choices in what you can do. This page goes further down. This is a long, I think he has a long page here. But again, a confused mind never buys. And so to send someone to your website, I really don't think is in your best interest. There are things called landing pages or microsites. They're basically a single page where you can send someone that's specifically focused on the messaging and what you're trying to do from your ad. So where do you send your lead to? You don't want to send them, as I said, to your homepage. You want to send them to a page that's just for your ad. And you want the messaging on that page to be very consistent with the ad that again, a confused mind never buys. And they should only have one thing that they can do from this page. So here's an example of a landing page. And as you can see, it has kind of a simple headline. An image is always good. You can always have video here as well, is also very powerful. And a few bullet points, an offer, and a button. Very simple. You can add more if you want below this. If you want, I have experimented with longer pages here. You can go longer pages, but you want to make it very simple. There's no menu here at the top. You can't get anywhere else. You just go to a single page. Now, some recommendations for Ezio. So make the ad be about, as we talked about, something that's relevant to the person seeing the ad, right? Um, Asking them to call is a very compelling thing to have someone do. You might want to go for something a little bit easier. What I recommend for him, because his video doesn't really communicate how he can help someone, is he could revise the video. If he doesn't want to do that, doesn't want to spend the money, go find an image or a stock video of an agent closing a deal. And what he should be asking for is simply a name and an email address, and possibly, although this is a bigger ask, to ask for a phone number as well. Now, how do you do that? One of the best ways of doing that is giving something to someone for free that they want. I know Ezio has several different pieces of content he's produced over the years that he can share as a PDF. Give them something of value, get their email address so that you have a way of following up with them after you share this piece of content. And this is a great way of building trust. So basically you're spending the money on an ad once, but if you get that email address, you can reach out to them over and over again. And if you also get a cell phone number, you can text them, you could do all sorts of things. You could actually call them as well. So one of the things that I'm sure all of you are thinking about when advertising is, what is the right budget? And I believe in a top-down approach and really working way down to figure out what that number should be. So let's just go through one of these exercises really quick so you can see for yourself how this works. So let's just say in Ezio's case, he just wanted to get one sale in a month. Now, assuming that uh, he has a conversion rate of 1 in 10 people. So if he's on the phone with 10 people, he can close one of those people. This is very low and conservative, but let's just say it's 10%, 1 in 10 people. He would have to get on the phone with 10 people. Now, let's just assume, kind of like what we saw with Ezio, that even though someone says, yeah, I want to talk to you, let's say only 50% of those people actually show up. So that really means if Ezio wants to get one sale, he's going to have 20 clicks of his ad. Now, right now, as you saw at the beginning of this presentation, Ezio has a 0.23, less than half a percent conversion rate of the ad. So that would mean if you take this number and divide it by this, he would have to get almost 9,000 impressions of his ad to get one sale by the end of the month. Now, he's spending $6 per click right now. So if you take 20 times 6, you get $120. Now, that's still a very low budget in terms of a media spend. I would certainly, I usually encourage my clients to spend somewhere between $500 and $600 a month and then course correct from that, because this is going to take a lot of time to learn this. Now, let's say Ezio actually was in that wheelhouse of his messaging was on point, so he fixes the messaging, he fixes the video or image, he has a compelling offer, and he's able to get himself to that 2% conversion rate. So again, he wants one sale, 1 in 10, 1 in 10 people. Hold on a second, folks. Let's close that. Okay. He has 1 in 10 people converting, so it's 10. Again, only 50% are showing up, but now 2%, that's 1,000 people that he needs to serve this ad in front of to get that one sale. So at that rate, with his budget, his costs per click would drop to $1. So in that particular case, he'd only have to spend $20 to get one sale. Now, again, this is in theory. We would need to get more data, but this is very helpful for those of you who are trying to figure out what kind of budget I should spend. Okay, so oh, I think I lost you folks here. Bear with me a second here. I know what happened. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm back with you here. So let's review what we spoke about here today. We talked about boosting posts versus Facebook ads. We talked about the three components that make up a successful ad campaign on Facebook, which are messaging, targeting, and offer. We talked about the Facebook ad library, which is a great free resource that you can go to find out and see what your competitors are doing across the country or across the globe and use that as inspiration for your own ads. And we also talked about, well, where do you send someone when they click on your ad? Do you send them to your website? No, you send them to a landing page. Now, I hope this was helpful. I want to give you one particular piece of content that I use to help me have better success with my Facebook advertising. And that is, hold on a second here. I don't have control. Here we go. Sorry, there we go. This is what I call the Facebook ad checklist. And this is something that I go through every time I launch an ad campaign on Facebook. And I basically just check through these things to make sure that I haven't missed any of the steps in the process because it only takes one mistake in this to cost you tens or hundreds of dollars in your ad spend on Facebook. So if you'd like to get this checklist for your own ad campaigns, it's not a problem. I'm happy to share that with you, and you can get that if I can share my screen one more time. And I'm having a little trouble. Here we go. If you go to, it's not my URL, my www address, but promo.socialprooflocal.com/FIF2 for Fix It Friday episode number 2. Again, promo.socialprooflocal.com/FIF2. All right. So I hope you found this episode helpful because this is an episode, and I don't believe there's anyone here watching because there were live, that is, because this was an impromptu session. There's no opportunity to do Q&A, but I want to invite any and all of you that are either advertising currently, doing digital advertising, and you would like a little coaching and use it as a teaching opportunity for not only you, but others who follow Fix It Fridays. But please reach out to me at david@socialprooflocal.com. I'm happy to do a breakdown of your campaign. It could be a Google ad, it could be a Facebook ad, Instagram ad. It doesn't have to be an ad. It could even be a landing page or a sales funnel, or even trying to use automation as part of your process. Well, that's the end of this impromptu session of Fix It Friday. I thank you for watching this, even if it's pre-recorded. I hope you found this helpful. Please share your comments in the section below in terms of either questions you have or if you'd like to jump on an episode of Fix It Friday with me. I hope you have a great week this week, and I'll catch you this Friday for another episode of Fix It Friday. Take care, everyone. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next episode.